Welcome to the Old Capital Conversation. I'm Paul Peebles, National Underwriter for Old Capital, and we speak with the best operators of multifamily properties, the best managers, the best people that have invested in multifamily. Today, we are with Darwin German with DAR Corp here in Fort Worth, Texas. Darwin, thanks for being on with us.
Thank you so much.
With the advent of COVID, we haven't been able to be close to each other and can't talk interpersonal conversations. So today we should call this the Old Capital Cocktail Party. So you're at a cocktail party with me. We're talking with Darwin. We're going to ask some questions of Darwin so you get to know him a little bit better. So Darwin, tell me a little bit about your history of buying multifamily.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, and my dad had some small houses and small apartments, so I was doing make-readies by the time I was 6 years old.
Wow.
He ended up buying a property in Dallas, and I moved out here and I was going to work on it for about 6 months. Well, I ended up staying because that was 1990 is when I actually moved out. And then we had a client say, hey, here's $120 million, go buy us properties. So we bought 5,000 units here, mainly in DFW, but also in Arizona and one in Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
And I was the boots on the ground. I got to be, at a very young age, in control of everything, along with the asset managers in California. And so I got to be in charge of a huge portfolio and really cut my teeth on that portfolio. Then, as we sold that portfolio, made them over $100 million on that sale.
Wow.
And then in 2008, I started doing syndication. People wanted to invest in what I knew, my skill set.
Yeah.
So they would invest in me in syndications, and we bought 4,000 units so far and make our investors a whole lot of money.
Wow. So back in the 90s, that was then. Today in the 2020s, that's now. So tell me a little bit about what you're looking at and what you're buying these days.
Well, we've started making some transition. Of course, the big opportunity 7 years ago was value-add C-class apartments.
Sure.
The cap rates were higher. You can get a better deal, improve them. But now those prices have gotten so out of whack that we're even selling a Class C property for $120,000 a door.
Let's talk about that deal because I think that's a success story. You bought that when?
We bought that 4.5 years ago.
Okay. And what did you pay for it?
$48,000 a unit, Class C property.
And you've held it for how long?
4.5 years.
And you're selling it for how much?
We're selling it for $119,000 a unit.
What is that on an annual basis as an investment?
As an annual basis, put me on the spot for calculations real quick. That is actually a 49% per year average return to our partners.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns, but 49%?
Yes.
That's pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that property. What year was it built? Flat roof, pitch roof?
1970. It's actually built in two phases. Part of it's all bills paid with a chiller, and part of it's individually metered with pitch roofs.
And where's it located at?
That is in Carrollton, actually Farmers Branch, right at 635 and 35. So we actually, part of our Plan B was as a land play because the dirt there was worth the amount we were paying for the entire property. But we put some money into it, fixed it up, increased the rents, which increased the value, and now we're in a position to sell it and make a huge gain for our partners.
What are your partners going to do besides doing the happy dance? What are they going to do with that money?
Well, what I normally get, when's the next deal?
Yes.
So we actually scour the market for off-market deals. We've got great broker relationships with 30 years history and a great track record. They bring us deals, which is nice.
So tell me more about that, because as Michael Becker says, this is an unfair business when you're dealing with people that have been doing this for 30 plus years in this marketplace. They know all the brokers, they know all the vendors, whether it's the plumber or the electrician, they're able to get the best prices. So it is an unfair business. So let's talk about an unfair acquisition. let's talk about this deal right here, because I think this is something we're talking about, is that you guys just bought this property. This has been your last or latest acquisition. You guys bought this in December of 2020. Let's talk about this one.
Okay, this one, we bought it directly from the builder. He builds, holds on to it for 2 years and sells it. Now, we actually bought one of his other properties down the street before this one, and now we bought this one at $130,000 per unit.
$130,000 for almost brand new construction.
Brand new construction, and when we're selling another one at a C-class at 120, so it's a lot better to go ahead and go into the nicer quality assets. You have less risk with maintenance, with plumbing, with mechanical, a lot less risk, a better clientele. For example, here we haven't had any collection problems all through COVID. So it's a better clientele. Doctors live here, engineers, nurses. It is a nice property and a whole lot better clientele.
Yeah, this property is in North Fort Worth. The Lockheed F-35 plant is just on the other side of the fence. One of the busiest highways in Texas, 820, the west side is right over there, about 100 feet. So it's in a great marketing location. So doctors, lawyers, everybody lives on this Class A property. It has huge amount of amenities. It has a package locker. It has a beautiful swimming pool. This is a good looking property.
It's gorgeous.
For $130,000. You know, that is amazing.
It is an amazing deal. I don't think I can replicate it, is the only problem.
Come on.
Come on. Well, we do have one that's close that was just finished in September that we're paying $180,000 a door for, and it was just completed.
Wow.
So we can still find some deals here and there, which is why we scour the market. We look at everything that comes on the market, and we have those relationships bring us off-market deals like this one. This was not marketed, and it was directly from the builder, and so we got a great deal.
Do you guys manage your own assets, or do you have a third-party management company?
Absolutely manage your own. Nobody watches your money like you do.
Yeah.
So we've had our own management company since 1989, and now if you calculate over 10,000 units we've had on management. We just manage our own assets, and that way we can have good control over everything that goes on. Even during COVID, I'll give you a quick little number on this. We compared the properties we had all of 2019 and all of 2020, and we looked at our equity in 2019, and in 2020 we increased that equity from $100 million to $120 million valuation without any cap rate compression.
Wow.
So that was just for the operations of the property, and that's without late fees, without evictions. With all the problems during COVID, we still increased the value of those properties by 20%.
Yeah, having your own management company and managing the asset, you're only as good as you are managing the management company. But if you are the management company, you have to oversee your staff.
Yes.
And Darwin has attorneys, he has regional managers. He is in control of everything when it comes to managing his assets. Now, we talk about multifamily here. Do you also own anything else?
Well, multifamily, we'll throw this. We have 2 properties in Maui, by the way. So that was a fun little vacation buy to go ahead and buy a couple properties out there. But we also do have an office building. We were looking for office space. We said, why are we looking at renting when we are real estate investors? So we put together a syndication and bought this office building, about 80,000 square feet. And we took the worst space in the building right behind the elevator, and that's our space. And of course, we're paying over market rent for our own space, just to be fair to the investors. And we put in there a recording studio, all of our offices. So now when we do our education and our training, we record all that and send it out to everybody.
That's fantastic. Now, the property they're talking about is in Valley Ranch, Texas, in Irving, Texas.
Yes.
It is across the street from the old Cowboys training facility. Mm-hmm. It is on a fairly busy street. It was built in 1985.
Yes.
It is a beautiful brick building that they bought, and they came in and they rehabbed the interior of the property.
Yes.
They restructured some rents from units and brought in some new tenants, all during the pandemic. Of course, you didn't pay a rate of return during the pandemic. Did you, Darwin?
Oh, I did. No. You make money when you buy real estate. You got to know what your plan is going in. And we were doing distributions during COVID. Wow. So the office building is doing great. We've actually increased the occupancy, and it's doing dynamite.
That's fantastic. So give me an idea, again, your future. What do you think about buying in the future? What's on your game plan for the next 2 or 3 years?
Oh, if the next 2 or 3 years, this is going to be boom time. So I think prices are only going to go up on all the assets. You look at construction costs, you look at everything that's going on. DFW is a hot market. There's a lot of cash coming in from New York and California, and this is the next big market, and it's only going to go up. And so I think that anything you buy now, you're still going to do good on. can, but we're still very selective on what we buy, obviously.
Yeah.
But DFW is the best place to invest anywhere in the country, in my.
Yield is yield is yield. And
Yes.
so if you're thinking about making an investment, think about multifamily real estate, think about doing it in the DFW, Texas area, think about talking with Darwin German.
Absolutely.
If somebody wants to get more information about what you do, Darwin, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Well, our website is www.darwingerman.com, or in the email invest@darwingerman.com, and we can get right back to you.
Sounds great. Darwin German, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Peebles. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.